Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. Quite a few heavyweight fights this weekend, which we'll preview in this video. So you've got the return of Zhan Kossobutskiy, Justis Huni's back, Jarrell Miller in some random fight in Africa, Peter Kadiru in Germany, and also Adam Braidwood returns in Canada and possibly one of his toughest fights in recent times. So we'll start first though with Zhan Kossobutskiy. So he's headlining a card in Germany. He will be facing Hussein Muhamed, and you can see here this is the promo poster, Universum Box Promotions, and this card is going to be on YouTube. Also going to be on the card is heavyweights Murad Aliev and Jose Leutele. So Leutele, who's a Cuban heavyweight, decent heavyweight, unbeaten 8-0, facing Ali Kaiden. Some of you might remember he got starched by Hemi Ahil. I expect the same here. Murad Aliev, 5-0, the French Olympian, he is facing the well-trodden Jakub Saglam. Some people may recall the fight that he had with Joseph Parker, starched in that one. That's several moons ago now. And the main event, obviously, Kossobutskiy versus Hussein Muhamed. And Zhan Kossobutskiy, he's such an under-the-radar heavyweight. He's a very good fighter, and you can see here, based off who he's fought, he's number 25 in the world on BoxRec. He's got legit sort of top 10, top 15 type talent. He just needs opportunities to show it. He is a guy that Frank Warren does have some promotional concerns with, but unfortunately he really hasn't sort of taken use of those and given Kossobutskiy a platform. And because he's a dangerous southpaw who does have punching power, I can see why he's, keeping him away from anyone with a pulse in his stable. But it would be good to see Kossobutskiy after this Hussein Muhamed fight, if he can get through it, into something bigger and better. So he's got some rankings now, but he just kind of is drifting. But he has remained somewhat active since 2019. This will be his 8th fight. So some decent heavyweight names there on the way up. So currently he is 18-0, 17 KOs. Argon Smikici, Kamil Sokolowski, Honorime Ihurami, Joey DeVaco really put a beating on him, stopped him in 2 rounds. The corpse of Johan Dorper, and now Hussein Muhamed. And Hussein Muhamed is unbeaten coming into this one, 17-0. So he's probably, there's 2 things he's well known for. One, he's been a previous sparring partner of Anthony Joshua, that's a few years ago now, and also his fight with Senad Gashi, which actually, that was declared a no contest. So Muhamed failed the doping test. He ended up having a 6-month ban. So recently, he's just been out for a bit of a tune-up, his first fight since that Gashi one. That was in September. Faced the journeyman, took him out in a round. And now, I mean, the fact that this got made, I was a little bit surprised about. But to me, this, you can kind of look at it one of 2 ways. One, they could see a path to getting him a bigger and better opportunity if he can come in here and upset the apple cart, because in my view, he is the underdog, and by some considerable measure. He's got some decent skills, but I think Zhan Kossobutskiy is just a couple of rungs above. He's going to outbox him, he's going to hit him with the straight left or a right hook, and he's going to hurt him. And I would just note, so that Senad Gashi fight was, what was it, June of 2021. He looked decent in that, and Senad Gashi looked awful. And I would note, and I've kept my promise to date, until this video, I have not mentioned Senad Gashi's name at all on the channel, because I'm not covering the guy anymore. That fight, that performance from him was a joke. And actually, I think some of those cards were generous. 95-93, come on. Terrible performance by Gashi in that one. But Zhan Kossobutskiy, I do expect he is going to get the win here. Jose Leutele, he's always good to watch. He's going to get a win against Ali Kaiden, probably stop him under 3 rounds, I would say. This is the real sort of first real test that Ali Kaiden has had since he was stopped by Hemi Ahil, who just got beaten up and taken out in a couple of rounds. He's actually had quite a few fights since that one against Hemi Ahil. Nothing, 6-rounders, a few 8-rounders. No real names of note or anything like that. A couple of journeymen you may recognize. Then you've got Murad Aliev, the French Olympian. I was about to say journeyman. Maybe he'll end up devolving to that. 27 years old, 5-0. Jakub Siglam's been on the scene forever now. I think he will probably get a decision here. I would expect this will either go some rounds or it'll go the distance. Siglam sometimes can find a nice spot on the canvas, but at this stage, against guys like Aliev, who's not a huge puncher, he should be going in there and surviving if he can. So interesting, he's already ranked number 123 based on who he's fought, which is not a whole lot. I mean, Mirko Tintor, that's a name. A couple of other guys, Skabenko, seen him before in a few different other fights, but some of these guys are not great opposition. Moving on to another fight, moving to Canada. So you've got the return of Adam Braidwood. He's facing Alexis Barriere. So Barriere is considered the A side here. He is currently 7-0. Can't say I've really seen much of him. Adam Braidwood, he's been talking some mad trash in recent months. He's got this fight. He's saying he's going to come here and basically take him out and sort of take him down a couple of pegs. I'm interested to see it. So Barriere currently 7-0, and looking at the record, some of the journeymen, not too familiar with them, but Marco Antonio Canedo, seen him in a few different fights. This is going to be on Fight TV. So as you can see, I've already purchased this. It's going to be starting in 2 hours 15 from the time that I've recorded this. So Sunday my time, obviously in Canada, will be Saturday night there. Moving on, Jarrell Big Pharmacy Miller. So the comeback continues. And actually, I'll just note, so he's rated as a 3-star heavyweight here with the names that he's fought, 25-0 with 1. And if you go to Zhan Kossobutskiy, if I'm in the wrong one, he's a 3.5-star heavyweight. I thought that was interesting. Miller down in the estimation. But, I mean, some of the guys that Miller has fought before, it washed at the time, or just flat-out journeyman. He does have some decent names on the record, but certainly he messed himself up something chronic, didn't he? Taking all the drugs under the sun. So in terms of this fight, so this is some random fight in Tanzania against the guy called Adwad Tamim. So, I mean, I don't really know what to sort of think about this, but apparently there is going to be some TV, Tanzania Azam TV. Whether you can get that, that's another question. So if you don't follow Tim Boxeo on Twitter, I suggest you do. Check out his link tree, which does have his different sort of fight cards listed by time and date, and often there will be some key broadcast details, and this might be one of those ones that something crops up late where you just have to jump onto something and just hope for the best. Maybe this will be something that ends up turning up on YouTube the next day. Could be. Jarrell Miller had said just in recent weeks, 325 pounds, 2 more months, I'll be at championship shape. I'm coming for you all, you scallywags, crumpets and tea and bloody English muffins. Hard work, dedication, bison burger. Well, I guess some people would accuse him of taking some bison burger type stuff ahead of what would have been a fight with Anthony Joshua. Moving back to Germany, so you've got Peter Kadiru pictured here, right, and then you've got Viktor Jurk here. Jurk, former sparring partner of Anthony Joshua. Kadiru has also sparred with Joshua previously multiple times, and a lot of English heavyweights. He's spent quite a bit of time in the UK sparring. So they are on this P2M box promotion card that this weekend. I'm not even sure if they have any TV. I'm hoping something that will pop up. So at the moment, Kadiru undefeated, 14-0, 7 knockouts. It's been interesting with Peter Kadiru because started out trying to be all technical, and he's tried to change his style, alter it, be a bit more fan-friendly. He's sort of in between at the moment, and it's, it hasn't been pretty viewing. He's trying, but doesn't have a lot of power, as they say. Couldn't knock the skin off a rice pudding. As he's climbed up, the knockouts have stopped, and he's not even facing guys that are that good either. Viktor Jurk, interesting prospect, as you can see, very tall, lanky prospect, very young as well, early 20s, and Kadiru, he's still quite young as well. So we'll have to see. I mean, this might be a catch-up on the YouTube sort of fight, but if there's a stream, I'll certainly be trying to hunt it down, and I'll share it on Twitter if I can. So Jurk and Kadiru had signed with P2M Box Promotion just recently. This is from just a couple of days ago, where it was different things had come up about them signing. This is the card that they're on in Germany, in Hamburg. Not sure of broadcast details, as I say. And rounding up this preview video for the weekend, I guess we'll call it, Justis Huni. So he is facing Kiki Leutele. So Kiki Leutele, New Zealand heavyweight, number 164 in the world, number 4 New Zealand heavyweight, against Justis Huni, who's currently 6-0, number 36 in the world, number 2 in Australia, behind Lucas Brown. So this is actually a pretty good development fight for Justis Huni, and I say that because Kiki Leutele is tough, he's durable, he's been in with a couple of guys who can fight, and he's given a good account of himself in the fights that he has lost. In terms of the fight against Dempsey McKean, ran him very close, hurt McKean a couple of times, wasn't easy there, and the cards for that fight were way wider than the actual fight was. But it was, in my view, a sort of 6-4 McKean type of fight. But there were some people who thought that Kiki Leutele was hard done by in that. But Huni, as you can see here on screen, so he's been training in the United States, broadening his horizons on the training front, and I think that's good, because in Australia he'll become a big fish, or he probably already is, in a very small pond in terms of the heavyweight scene. Having a look at his record here, he's basically fought most of the guys that are available, minus guys like Lucas Brown and also Dempsey McKean, which those fights may or may not come in the next year or two. And he's been moved quite quickly. The Australian heavyweight title was on the line in his first fight. He's fought good level of competition for where he's at in his career. Guys like Whainga Opilu, who we just saw stop Hemia Hill. That was his first fight. Arsene Fosso, Jack Maris, Christian Soy, Paul Gallen, Joseph Goodall. The Goodall fight was interesting because I didn't like that Huni was getting hit so much. I mean, there was a punch stat, something like Huni landed close to 200 punches, but Goodall landed about 150. So Goodall was getting his work away, and they were really going at it. And the scorecards are quite wide, but it sort of was one of those fights where it was competitive, but one guy was getting the best of the action pretty much all of the time. Yeah, Goodall was getting a lot of work away. As we Joseph Goodall to face Lucas Brown, I'll do a video on that at some point. Still getting back up to speed in terms of getting back in the rhythm of, making a video, 5 or 6 days out of the week sort of thing. After having been sick for basically 5 out of 6 weeks, that sort of stuff, it's really easy to get out of the habit of making videos for YouTube either before or after work. So yeah, sometimes I just haven't had the energy. So apologies that the output's been a little bit lower, but quite a few fights this weekend, and I thought I'll just bundle them all together here. But I expect Kiki Leutele and Justis Huni, I think there will be some decent action, especially in those earlier rounds. Wouldn't shock me, and actually I'll just go to... So here is the tail of the tape. So Justis Huni 23 against Kiki Leutele 28. And in terms of the weights for this fight, so weighed in. So this will be on Fox Sports and also KO Sports in Australia. It's on Sky Sports in New Zealand. So you'll be able to watch this, no pay-per-view charge or anything like that. But Kiki Leutele, 247 pounds, which was about 11 pounds less than the McKean fight. Justis Huni, 241.4. So Leutele, he will come to fight. He will let his hands go. But he is vulnerable to an uppercut in particular. Julius Long dropped him a couple of times in their fight a couple of years ago with an uppercut. So I think Huni will be unloading on him with his hand speed and his combination punching. He's going to find the target, but he's got to be careful too, because Leutele does have a bit of power, and I think he will find the target at some point as well. But I do expect Justis Huni to win this one. Anyway, what do you make of it all? Quite a few fights coming up. Which one are you looking forward to? Who's going to win? How? Miller in some random fight in Tanzania. Zhan Kossobutskiy back. Justis Huni in Australia. Adam Braidwood against an undefeated guy. Kadiru, Viktor Jurk. All back. Drop a comment. Loud and often. Hit like. Hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Boxing_squared. I'm out.